Afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. It's been a while since I did a art stream, but I'm here working on some stuff. So let's go live. See what happens. Might as well. Warner should be joining soon. Um, but yeah, right now I'm working on this Oni. Is it Oni? Oni sketch card for an indie set that I don't actually know what it's called, but I wasn't told I'm not allowed to show work in progress. So I'm just going to work on this for a bit. It's not a Perna set, if anyone's wondering. This is. I'm not really sure what the name of the set is yet. So right now I'm just building out the dark values on the mask. Well, it's not a mask. I'm doing kind of like not an Oni mask as much as an Oni demon. And a might take on it. More of a Western look. So the way I've been working lately is getting the darks and the midtones all blocked in and blended, and then just building out highlights on top of that. Gives me the flexibility to add as much or as little volume as I want, depending on how much time I have to work on the piece. And working with creatures is always a little faster because there's no need to watch symmetry or really have to focus on smooth textures or anything like that. So other than that, what's been going on? Not much really. Been insanely busy with work stuff for the last almost month, so I haven't been around much. Screw the rules. That's right. What's going on, Gordon? Yeah, I've been crazy busy with work stuff, which is good, but been been working on some sets in the evenings, but it's been kind of interfering with my art time. So I'm behind on commissions again, because seems to be what I do. But it is a long weekend in Canada this week. I think in the States as well. I'm not sure if Columbus Day is something that's observed as an actual holiday down south, but either way, it should give me at least a day to do my own shit and work on some and finish up a couple of commissions. I might actually switch over to a commission depending on how long it takes me to finish this guy. Hopefully, not too long. And the darks and the midtones are all blocked in. Which is just going with pure red to add the highlights. And then I'll lighten the red probably with a touch of yellow to give it a little bit of a warmer tone. And use that to get the final highlights. But I'm not going to do that until I get the horns, the eyes, the lips, the teeth, everything else blocked in. How you doing, Gordon? You want to come out and play? I'm going to send you a link. Or are you busy doing more important things? Maybe hop on for like 30 minutes as long as the baby cooperates. Okay, I'll flip you the link and you hop on if you like. Where are you? There you go. Yeah, if you can hop on, go ahead. If not, that's cool. That Warner's going to be on in a bit. He's just bathing. Going on,
Hey,
buddy?
not much. Just my wife went to go pick up the kids in carpool, so I'm at home with the baby right now. So she just fell asleep, so I should be good as long as she doesn't wake up.
All right. Sneak in a little art time in between naps.
That's right. Yeah, I actually
During naps.
just finished this a little while ago.
Oh, very nice.
Daredevil. Yeah, I've been blowing through these X-Men cards too. Been trying to stay ahead of the daily prompts.
I
Yeah.
was going to say that Daredevil is not part of the X-Men prompts.
Nope, that was just for fun. Well, they're all just for fun. I guess I should rephrase. And I've just been doing some sketching. So I got this. I don't know if I told you about this, but I got this really cool book. There's this account on Instagram called Masters of Anatomy.
Oh yeah.
And they like kickstart these books, and they have a bunch of like tons of pro artists that contribute to the books. And so I got one I ordered it about 2 months ago, and it's just got like a ton of like, it's a collection of some of their other books, so it's got like tons of like posing and all kind of stuff, like female
I feel
and
like
male.
I backed that Kickstarter and never heard back.
Really?
Credit card receipts, yeah, because I know that one. Oh, here's the Velvet Hammer. Not sure why it's called the Velvet Hammer.
I don't know.
What's up?
What's going on?
Same old, same old.
So Gordon was just
Stuff.
showing off his Masters of Anatomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, yeah, this book, the one that I got, is actually like a collection of 4 of their previous books. And so it's like 600 something pages, and they shrunk down a lot of the other books to make them not, to fit into a small amount of pages, but it's tons of stuff in here.
Yeah, and it's
And I mean,
like a solid reference, right?
yeah, and like the names, I'm gonna see if there's like a page of the names in here, because I mean most of these people you know of. Like I mean it's got let's see, J. Scott Campbell's in here, Ryan Otley, Renee Cordova, Phil Barassa. That guy, he's done a ton of like the DC animated stuff, like
Yeah.
the character design for that. But I mean, there's
Randy
literally
Bishop,
like,
isn't that right?
do what?
Randy Bishop?
Yep, he's in there too.
Or because I remember he was doing some
Humberto
the
Ramos.
cartooning thing.
Yeah, there's a good mix too between like cartoony and more of like a traditional and like the first. I don't know. I'm not going to show these pictures on the first couple pages because it's all just like anatomy and it's all like naked people.
It's a fine. I'm okay with nudity on my channel. I don't care. But
But then the rest of it's more just like generic, kind of just like the shapes, not necessarily the man and lady parts. Some of these are pretty interesting. I wish I could show this one right now. It's goofy as hell.
Show it. Show it. Okay.
Okay, I'll show it real quick.
I love it.
But yeah, there's a huge variety in here, and it's awesome. Like, I mean, I'm just like using this to like practice and find stuff that I like, and it's great for like expanding your recall and being able to like imagine things, because you can't really imagine something if you haven't ever seen it before.
That there's a very funny joke in there.
Does it involve a velvet hammer?
It could. So what's the Velvet Hammer all about?
Oh, it's just a funny name.
Oh, okay.
Be like a band name or something. I don't know.
It's like the Velveteen Rabbit, but
Or like anatomy name. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name of Kevin Hart's. That's a nickname of Kevin Hart's character in Ride Along. No, it's just the hammer, not the Velvet Hammer.
I'm trying to think. There's an old wrestler who was something the Hammer, but I can't remember his name now. But I don't think it was Velvet Hammer. But yeah, I don't know.
Did you have fun in your bath time, Warner?
Yeah, I had yeah, there's a joke there too. Yeah, no, we had the girls. What was it, Wednesday evening? Went to like the Great Wolf Lodge, and for my daughter's friend's birthday, like get together kind of a thing, and so I was home alone on Wednesday,
Unattended?
so I decided to unattended, unsupervised, and I had so I decided I wanted to finish up like the like where I punched the hole through the wall in the kitchen. I decided to finish that area up and then paint up the outside of the half wall. So I worked on that, but I had everything all mudded up and around the window and wanted to just sand it and paint it and just get it kind of squared away and ready to paint the the walls in the living room and dining room. And I ended up having to do another layer of mud on it. Um, so I did that, and because it was so thick, I had to basically let it dry for like 2 days. So today I finally painted it and got it all finished off. And that was after doing parent teacher conferences.
Ooh, parent
This
teacher
morning.
conferences.
Yeah. It's so
Those are
silly.
always- Yeah. And depending on like
I
how
mean,
many kids are in the class, sometimes it's just a joke. It's just like, all right,
no, it's an
next.
absolute joke because, I mean, when I was a kid and had parent teacher conferences, boy, that was like the longest half hour of my, life. And now it's like, oh yeah, 5 minutes
Yep.
per teacher. And I'm like, dude, this is,
It's
so I
just a
just,
formality
sit
at this
there and,
point, right?
yeah. So I just sit there and, wait for my 5 minutes to be up, really. Because you're not going to get
Usually,
any useful,
right.
you don't get any useful information. And it's like, what, you can't talk about, okay, what's the curriculum? What are you doing here? What, blah, 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 blah. It's basically, oh yeah, she's doing good. No complaints. Do you have any questions for me?
Nope. All right.
Not,
So yeah.
not, no. So,
Is my
and
kid
of course
biting
with the
anyone?
whole,
No. Good. All right.
yeah, it's, but it's like, since you've got the whole COVID thing or whatever, everything, it's a Zoom parent teacher conference. Stupid.
Even better.
Not that it was,
Man.
not that it was much better in real life, because it was still only 5 minutes and a wasted trip.
Well, at least this time you can do it from the shower.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you didn't even have to put pants on. That's the best part, right?
Oh, I didn't have pants on. So,
I haven't worn pants in 16 months.
yeah, damn near. But anyways, yeah, I had to. We got a wedding that we got to go to this weekend, so I had to trim the beard, cut my hair.
I was wondering where that was going.
Yes.
Yeah,
Had it
yeah.
trimmed,
So hence the shower.
And what do you want?
Wait till you have to go somewhere before you take a shower.
I just gotta wash all the hair clippings off.
It's kind of hard.
Did you ask me what I'm working on?
Kinda,
Or?
Yeah, what are you
I
doing?
always have so much.
Huh?
What? Gordon said something,
Yeah.
but it clicked.
Yeah, what is it? What you got?
Oh, this is Dark Phoenix. Oh, you see that?
Nice.
Oh, nice. How'd you do that texture? You just blotch it on with a sponge or something?
Sponge, yeah.
Cool.
And then what was kind of cool is I turned it upside down like this, and then went really with really wet paint, just watered down, and let it kind of run down or it would be up the board, but let it run down the board, and it kind of gives it a little bit of that smoky, fiery
Oh yeah,
kind of a vibe.
that's smart.
And then hit it with the blow dryer, and kind of lock in the edges and stuff.
That's
I don't know,
looking
just
good.
making it up. It was like you get. I mean, you guys know how it is. You get that that image in your head, and okay, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be looking. It's gonna look really cool, and then you go, shoot, how do I pull this off?
Yeah, this started as a unicorn.
Yeah, see, and that's an issue. So just another opportunity to play around with stuff and try and figure out this whole painting thing.
I think Gordon went to babysit. He's muted. Is everybody muted?
No. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Is it me you're looking for?
Oh, here he comes.
Yeah, he said he's going to hop on for a little bit while the baby takes a nap. So, very possible.
Oh, yeah.
He got summoned. Yeah, he's gone.
Did he sign off?
Yeah, he fell out. If
Yeah.
he comes back on. I'm trying to balance work and paint. Drawing. I can only imagine what it's like trying to balance a baby
Oh, yeah.
at the same time.
No, they can be a handful. Sometimes. Mine was super easy though.
Is your wife at home a lot?
No, she was let's see, she took whatever, like, well, Kaylee was she was a preemie,
Okay.
so she was born about a month early, and and then we spent, oh gosh, 11 days, almost 2 weeks in the NICU. The
On
what is it, the baby ICU.
Yeah. NICU, I think.
So
is
anyways,
a valid term.
NICU, yeah. But what is it, neonatal or natal intensive care unit? Anyway, so we spent almost a couple weeks there, and then it was around Christmas time. She came home on the 28th. We got to bring her home, and then finish off the year, and then basically when everybody goes back to work, Kat went back to work. So
Oh, wow. Real quick, huh?
yeah, well, I mean, it was weird because there wasn't a whole lot of time, that you got to just kind of hang with the kid, because it was, go visit the offspring in the hospital, like daily, hang out at the hospital all day, come home, go to bed, get up, do it all over again.
Just rinse and repeat
And
for
then,
a couple of weeks.
yeah, pretty much. And then yeah, so, and I just stayed at home and had her for 13 years now, I guess.
So that's fun.
Yeah, good times.
She sounds like she's well behaved. Oh, is he back? He's back. There he is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think she needed to be topped off a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
This is interesting. This is really the first time that I've tried to stream since coming back to the new normal, I guess. I don't know how to describe it.
Since, well, how long has that been?
How'd you guys fare?
Oh, it was really well. some of our neighbors were not so lucky, but our roof was only like a year old, so our roof did really well, and we don't have any big trees, but we had a couple small trees that were down and part of a fence, but like no serious structural things. So that was good.
Nice.
Just a bit of a mess, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah. So there was that. And then we didn't have power for like, it was 2 weeks at least. And so we were in Memphis for a while, and we were worried that my wife was going to have the baby there, which wouldn't have been the worst thing, but it would have been kind of difficult to try and get home with a
Yeah.
week-old baby. So it kind of worked out. Oh man! So what are you doing, Dre? You said it started as a unicorn, and now it's turned into like the Hades My Little Pony or something.
Yeah, turn my unicorn into an Oni. The Japanese, like one of the Japanese demon things.
Oh, okay. Is it
I-
from anything particular, or like Demon
Well,
Soul, or whatever?
No,
that
no,
show's
no, no, no.
called?
It's just kind of my.
Just like a
So this set is kind of myth and legend type thing. It's not
oh,
called
okay.
myth and legend because it's not the Perna one. So kind of got very broad instructions as to what they want, just like creatures and characters from myth and legend. So it's like, all right. So I did Medusa. I did my version of a Minotaur. I did my version of the Angel of Death, which kind of looks like Skeletor.
Nice.
I did a garden gnome, right?
Garden gnomes are scary to some people.
Yeah, I can't remember what this is called. It's the giant serpent that takes over buildings from some mythology. Yeah, so this was originally going to be a horse portrait with a horn, but then like this horse is not looking good, so let's do something else. Hey, Sarah. Yes, taking names and prisoners. Just here to redeem
Gordon
some
is held hostage.
Yeah, definitely. You
So
know-
are you on leave now then from work, or
I'm
this is
not.
just one of your days that you work
Yeah,
you work from home?
yeah. This is just one of my work from home days, and I'm just kind of on baby duty at the moment because my wife went to go pick up the other kids at carpool, and I just decided to, let her get a little break. I let her.
Right.
You gave
Yeah,
her
that's,
permission.
Yeah,
You're so
That's,
kind.
I know, right? Yeah, we've been usually what we've been doing.
There it goes.
there we
it
go.
goes. I was like, while she's been home, like I'll usually take the last couple feedings at night, so she kind of gets like a break from like 8:30 until like 4 in the morning, and that way, like I'm getting some sleep too. But on the weekends, I'm sure it'll be different this weekend. I'm sure I'll be waking up in the
Yeah,
middle of the
so-
night.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that's like. Like I said, that was probably the one good thing about Kaylee being in NICU for like 2 weeks is that she could sleep through anything. With all the noise and stuff that was going on in there.
Uh huh.
So she would sleep through the night.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's doing pretty good and giving us some long, like 4.5, 5 hour stretches in the middle of the night. So, it's not nothing, but just kind of I forgot all about this stage of
You
having
blocked it out
kids.
of memory.
Yeah.
So Sarah popped in for a little bit, so she actually has a moment. So seeing how everyone's doing.
Fantastic.
So if you just tuned in, Sarah, so just to recap, Warner is clean and shorn, and Gordon is on baby duty. And I don't know what I'm doing.
Converting My Little Ponies into Japanese fire
Yeah.
demons.
There you go. That's it.
It's gonna be like a new. It's gonna be like a new thing for at all the anime cons.
Yeah.
Pony fire demons.
I just got like 10 emails in 2 minutes. That's never a good sign.
Are they doing conventions right now in Canada?
I think Toronto Fan Expo's on later this month, but I don't think anybody's going there.
Yeah. I've seen a few like around here that are like starting to advertise and stuff. Like there's some small one that's supposed to be this week. It's like this weekend. It's like a 1-day thing that's near me. I've never been to it, so I didn't really have any desire to try and get in there. But I've just noticed there's more advertising, so I guess people are kind of gearing up to start doing it again.
Yeah, I mean, New York Comic Con's on right now, and I think that's the first big one, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I think a lot of people are kind of waiting to see how that pans out from both publisher and artist point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah says, my first and third slept amazing. The second didn't sleep through the night until the third one was 6 months old.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, one and done.
Both of my other kids were pretty good sleepers. It didn't take them too long, but I don't want to say anything and jinx it. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I get all bent out of shape when we have a thunderstorm and one of my dogs freaks out and wakes me up 6 times in the night.
yeah,
All messed up for a week.
yeah, it's one of those things. It's like if it happens like 1 or 2 times, it's like more effective than if you're just doing it regularly because it throws your whole schedule off.
Yeah.
Instead of just adapting to it.
Like at one point, I'd imagine he just like, screw it, I'm just gonna stay up.
Yeah, I've done that a couple
Go
times
paint the
because
kitchen.
yeah. I've done that a couple times because it'll be like I have to feed her at like 8:45 and then again at like 11:45. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to go to bed. So as long as she cooperates, I'm going to go do something else. This Spider-Man, he gives me so much trouble sometimes. Trying to get these poses to look like
Look
not
natural.
yeah. Which I guess doesn't really make any sense because there's no way for them to look natural, but just not to look like you're like jamming square pegs into round holes.
Right.
Yeah, so Sarah says, very rough. It was a surprise third kid. Girls are 15 months apart.
Oh, that'll be great though, like when they're older, right? As long as they get along, they'll be best friends.
Yeah, that never happens with sisters, though.
Well, I guess it depends. But if my sisters definitely aren't
unless
best
they're
friends.
yeah, unless they're twins, then they're just weird.
Twinsies! Nobody's kids are weird. It's the parents' fault.
No, twins are weird, man.
Hashtag don't drink on holidays.
That's how the third kid happened, huh?
Lesson learned. It's funny, my business partner, he had a second kid a couple of years ago. It's not new, but it was the first vacation they took after they had their first kid. And yeah, that's when it happened.
No more vacations.
Yeah. So then earlier
Can't afford them now.
Earlier this towards the end of the summer, he went on vacation again. They went to the same place that I went. I'm like, okay, so you're gonna get a third kid now, right? Don't laugh. Number 3 was conceived on Halloween. Ooh.
Oh, right. That's right around the corner. So I had to draw from that prompt list the other day. I had to draw Maggot, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with that character, but I was not at all.
He's like a troll, and he's got maggots coming out of him, right?
Yeah. So like the maggots like come out of his stomach and they eat stuff, and then they go back into his body and like give him energy or something like that. It's really weird. But he's blue. They're like,
Is he from the 2099 X-Men thing?
no, I don't
No?
believe so.
Or is he? Show me again.
Well, I don't know how accurate of a representation this is. I just kind of
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah.
with what little reference I could gather. But he's got like these maggots that crawl around on him that come out of his stomach, and then they go back in there and like replenish him. It's weird.
There's something weird about that.
Yeah, it's comics for you. You know, that's not even the weirdest thing I learned in comics this week.
Yeah, it's not like he's his own grandfather. Phil Warner, he's a little bit of an encyclopedia on this shit, but he might not be aware of this one.
Okay, so 2 of the prompts, 2 days in a row. One of them was Long Shot, and then the next day, or it was either order. It was Long Shot and Shatterstar, or the other way around. Well, Dre brought up something about him being a clone, Long Shot being a clone of Shatterstar. So I looked into it, and Shatterstar is the biological son of Longshot and Dazzler, but Longshot is also a genetic clone of Shatterstar. So make that make sense. He basically went into the past and brought his baby self to the future and erased the memory of Dazzler to make her think she had a miscarriage.
That's dark.
Yeah. It was pretty wild. Yeah, nice guy.
And it was Longshot that's got 3 fingers.
Yeah, Longshot's got 3 fingers and a thumb. Because I think that's people that are native to Mojo World, maybe. And that's why Spiral's like that also. Because they're not humans, they're aliens, but they're just like human-like, I guess.
I'm trying to remember if Longshot, because Longshot was in the animated series, and I don't think he had.
Yeah, I don't remember from the series if he had the 3 fingers or not, but yeah, he was in there.
But it's funny, after you told me that and I looked it up, I was like, oh shit, you're right. I was just looking up all these Longshot covers and trading cards to make sure, like, did everybody give him the right number of fingers? And sure enough.
There's got to be instances where that they didn't, though, because I've seen pictures of Spiral with 4 fingers before.
Yeah, it definitely happens.
Well, it's like, what's his
Especially
face? The God Butcher who's got one hand that's backwards.
Oh, what?
Or is
no,
it
they
both
both
hands?
are. Yeah,
It's the thumbs.
where the pinky is.
It's like his left hand's on the right hand and the right hand's on the left hand.
That's totally easy to screw up. Like if you're just like drawing a bunch of stuff and not even thinking about it, because that would like break your brain to like constantly focus on that.
Well, so Warner did. Um,
Yeah, I did a commission.
he did a commission not too long ago, and he posted like he sends it to me on Messenger, and I'm like, oh man, how do I tell him he fucked up the hands? Right? Like that's a bad one too.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, what's up with the hands?
At least they had an answer for
Yeah.
it, you know?
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and to be honest, I would have actually done it normal if it hadn't been that the guy that commissioned me actually sent me like the character design sheet, model sheet,
hmm
and I was like, ooh, okay.
that's what happened to me when I did a spiral commission earlier in the year. Like I had no idea she only had 3 fingers, but the guy told me, so it was on my
Yeah,
radar
I
because he
don't.
mentioned it.
It's actually funny because I think I've done a pack pull, but I may not have drawn the hands. May have been just all shoulders and arms. Or
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to look back because I may have screwed that up then.
Well,
Womp womp.
so like we
It's like
get-
the Silver Surfer with the ears.
So, but he's got ears in some instances.
Does he?
Yeah, some artists
Okay.
do with ears.
Yeah, but I don't think he's supposed to. Oh, here we go.
I like to draw Daredevil with his ears sticking out. It's just like a thing I started doing, so figured nobody else really does it, so I'll just keep doing it.
Well, it's-
These things suck. I don't like these tubes of paint. Like all the caps break.
is this the cheap stuff?
I don't know. What is it?
Ortiza?
Yeah. Is that cheap stuff?
So Arteza is actually a funny thing. I watched a video explaining what their thing is. So they don't manufacture anything. But what they do, they don't manufacture anything themselves. They buy, all that knockoff stuff that you see on Wish and Amazon from like Chinese companies that like, oh, alcohol markers or blendable crayons. So what they do is because they've gotten big, they've built a brand for themselves. They'll go to those manufacturers and say, okay, we're going to buy 10,000 packs of markers, but put our brand on it.
Yeah. Put our
That's
brand
all
in.
they
Yeah.
are. Yeah, so they don't have consistency in color or hue, and there was a big kind of like uproar from the housewives who coloring books community.
Mm.
So like the adult coloring books?
It was more on the female part of it though, for some reason. But that some influencer there went on about how great the Arteza pencils are, and they have this line called like premium or elite or artist or whatever. And then everybody ordered them, and a ton of people were like, "These are garbage." And then some people were like, "Oh, they're not." So they looked into it and said, depending on which batch you got, they're different products.
Well, that sucks because I got some of their markers.
Well,
I'm not knocking them. It's just
well, they're cheap. I mean, they're a good price, and
well, you know how like you have because I've actually seen this because when my wife was working at for writing, the writing division, so they have like basically the manufacturing is done in China, right? Well, the companies that the factories, the companies that are actually doing the manufacturing for them, they'll like sometimes they have like it's the IP of their markers and their inks. Inks is the big thing, right? So like you can get that's why like when you see some of these knockoffs like at Blick or at Hobby Lobby or something for these markers, it's like, boy, these markers look an awful lot like Prismacolor or Copic or whatever.
Right.
And it's the ink is totally different because that's what the trademark is really on.
Hmm.
But as far as like the barrels and the markers themselves, that's kind of open game. But a lot of those factories, they do like the generic markers and stuff, and they, and people just say, okay, yeah, they actually have. It's almost like a big convention in where is it? It's in France, Paris, I think.
This is the art
I
supply.
don't know. There's like
thing?
some. It's a big worldwide art supply or writing supply, convention, right? And you have all these companies and these factories and stuff that literally go out there and they have like they've got a setup of all the stuff that they're making in companies like Papermate or Sanford or whatever. They can go from table to table or booth to booth and say, "Yep, I like that. Yep, I like that. Yep, I like that. Go ahead and put our brand on it." And then they, sign contracts and do that, in terms of, but it's generally it'll be like their lower end stuff. It's not like their high end, product.
Yeah, they just brand it like those. What are those
Yeah,
blending
it's no different
dual
than
tip cult
yeah,
markers?
and there's going to be like a company like say I don't know, let's say like Minuteman Press or whatever. They go there and then they turn around and say, yeah, we'll take a bunch of these ballpoint pens or whatever, and then that company will turn around and rebrand it for Joe Schmuckatelli's DDS office.
Yeah.
Yep.
All those cheap pens that you end up getting, in every office or that every waitress steals from somewhere is that's kind of how that goes.
And they just actually switched to a new model of marker at Arteza because now they have the brush tips. They didn't
Oh,
used
my
to do
goodness.
those.
Yeah, it took me years to get Prismacolor to get on board with that.
Yeah, they finally did too, not that long ago.
Because Copic just took over the market.
But the thing is, though, they're so expensive that there's so much room for all these other brands to just, go out. Like Five Below sells these markers that look like knockoff alcohol markers that like
Yeah, but you know what? They're not.
daughter.
They're not on the same level.
No,
Like,
they're
I
not.
bought the cheap markers, and
They're great for like my 8-year-old though.
yeah, the color's not consistent, and the flow's not consistent, and it's just
Always worried about the flow.
yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I said, that's the stuff that they really focus on these companies and brands is their ink formula.
Yep.
It's like, remember a few years ago, the factory that was making the iPhones? Somebody stole a bunch of the unbranded stuff and put out like a whole line of an iPhone knockoff, which looked exactly
Yeah.
like the iPhone, but it was running Android.
Yep.
It's like, okay, well,
But it does make sense that, most of these marker companies are probably using a handful of different manufacturers for the actual like markers.
oh yeah,
For that,
and
not the ink, but
as an example, my so my wife works at Newell and she's in the outdoor and rec division. She's doing beverage. She's in the beverage part of that, but she did for a little bit. She worked on the Coleman side as well, and they literally have their coolers. There's a line of their coolers that is literally built on the same line as a Yeti cooler. It's the same exact thing, basically.
yeah, it's called white
Made by
label.
the same people.
what's
So
the
my
Coleman one?
bakery client, Sorry to cut off there. That I think Warren
Oh, yeah,
told you
yeah.
when I was shooting the bakery. So they're a white label. They're a commercial bakery, right? So they
Right.
make crackers for Costco and Walmart and
Hmm.
Sam's Club and whatever. And a lot of them are the same recipe, just different shape and packaging.
Yep.
Sorry, Gordon, you were saying?
Oh, I was just asking. I was asking what cooler that was. That was
Oh,
the same one.
oh you
Oh,
want
I
to go
don't
get
know.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because and it's like
Not-
way cheaper, and I don't know. Um, might actually have one.
Okay, don't get your wife in trouble.
Well, I don't know if
Yeah,
they're
you
still
can tell
doing
me
it,
off stream.
What's that?
but
Said-
if it's the one that I think it is, it's you can I've done this. It's like you can fill the cooler with ice, beers, and whatever, and I've had it on the deck literally for 5 days straight without taking the ice or anything, and everything's still ice cold.
That's pretty wild.
And it's a huge cooler too. It's like, hey, you got any coolers? Oh, I like this one. No, you can't have that one.
So I went to the liquor store last night because I needed beer, and they were out of Coors Light.
What?
All they had is tall boys of this like Coors Light lemon splash something. Like, how's this even
Oh,
possible? Like you have one job, right?
right. And that's
That
like
is,
your top selling beer that you make. So
it's like you have half a store full of India Pale Ale that people make in their basements, and you're out of Coors Light. Like, do you see the problem here? Like,
Yeah, the problem is that you're getting Coors Light.
uh-oh.
yeah, shots
You
fired.
should go with go. You got to go with Natty Light or something. Old Meisterbrow, old Milwaukee.
Whiskey,
There
yeah,
you
well,
go.
whiskey. Coors Light's a great chaser for Jack Daniels.
Man, do I keep squeaking? I think it's my desk.
Hang on, let me get my chair going.
I hate I hate doing this. Like I just sketched out this nice, awesome Spider-Man pose down here, and then I tried to draw on a card, and it's like, well, you cut that out. It's like right here. But I can't draw any smaller on these things. I just can't do it.
Why don't you draw the frame of the card first, then draw over it, and then cut it? So you're not trying to
No,
squeeze it into the card. They'll
that's
just
a good
work.
idea. You know, I actually have thought about. I recently started cutting my own cards from this like 100-pound cardstock that I use for bigger stuff. And I thought about drawing out like giant puzzles and then cutting them after.
Mhm.
Thought that would be kind of cool, but I don't know what people's interest in collecting something like that is. But it was a cool idea.
Well, some people like the puzzles, right? Like they're all about it. So
So
it's not for
so you
everyone.
just
I
do
don't
all one. You just do one picture and then cut out the put it on a paper cutter and cut the cards out individually.
Yeah. That was my thought. At least just to try and attempt it.
But then
See
why
what
not
came of
just
it.
make a big, like, 8x10 or just as one large piece? Oh, hey, Abraham.
I think
Abraham
it's
said
easier.
puzzles are dope.
I think it's easier to sell them as cards than a giant piece. I don't know.
This depends on the buyer, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Some
I
people
mean,
love their
it's
card size stuff.
Do what?
So some people like their card size stuff.
Yeah, that too. And I thought about too, like somebody brought it up in the group the other day about the card holders for like 9 cards or whatever. That's like the rigid
yeah, yeah.
cases or whatever.
Yeah.
So I looked into those and they look pretty cool. Like that would be pretty neat to have like a puzzle, like a 9 card puzzle and something like that.
Yeah, Abraham says you can do a Sinister Six with Spider-Man.
Yeah, that would be cool. Sinister Six would be really cool.
Yeah, and Sarah says we aren't much of a puzzle collector, but we have 2 commissioned puzzle sets.
Let's see.
Some people really like them. Some people are just like whatever, and then some. I know there's a couple of people that are just like I hate them.
Yeah.
I don't want a puzzle.
Well, some
Burn it.
people also hate the dual panel cards and all that stuff too. And I think it's probably for the same reasons.
One is Avengers, and the other is Scarlet
Oh.
Witch and Vision.
And I guess it depends how many pieces the puzzle is too. So if it's, if it's only like 2 cards, that's not that big a deal in my opinion. But like when you start talking 6
9-card
cards,
puzzle?
or 9-card puzzle, that makes it a little more
Or it was. I can't remember
difficult.
if it was Masterpieces or Premiere. Somebody did like a 9-card puzzle, but it was a headshot of Taskmaster.
Oh, yeah.
How can you even do that
Yes.
many? I thought there was like a limit for how many cards.
No.
you were-
It was APs, not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
those
if it's
APs.
10%, then if you do like Masterpieces where you do 100 cards, you can do one 9-card
That's true.
puzzle, right? But
Yeah.
the one I'm talking about is an AP. And Sarah
I think I
says
may-
when it gets hard to find the pieces, it's a pain. Yeah, but that part of it has to do with Upper Deck not always putting the puzzles together. Like all my puzzles for Masterpieces are all individual parts.
Yeah, it's weird how they can't figure that out sometimes too. I try to like number them on the back if they're part of a puzzle. And I've never had that problem, but I've never done more than 3, I don't think.
Well, I've only done a few puzzles, like the Masterpieces ones. I think I did 3, and they're all split up, like 3 2-cards. And I did one
Yeah.
for Far From Home. It was a 2-card, and they split that too.
That's weird.
It's like okay, and I saw part of one on
Now-
eBay, and
They did have a couple years ago for annual, they were doing those 4-card puzzle achievements.
were those assigned to the artist? So
Yeah, they were assigned to the artist. It was like, you need to do a 4-card puzzle piece. And so I got 2 of those. I did one of like some Spider-Man villains and then one of X-Men.
I'd love to get assigned puzzles. Just a 4-card, no problem. Just put 4 cards together and just do one big headshot. Like a 5x7. Be a lot easier.
Say do one big headshot.
Yeah. Over 4 cards. Like just a 5x7, because that's essentially the size, right?
Oh yeah, true.
Yes.
Did they all 5x7s? They only do on Marvel Premiere.
As far as I know, yeah. No, well, they don't do. Ooh, that's a good idea. Abraham would love a Galactus, Thanos, and Surfer puzzle.
Well, that would be cool.
Hopefully
Speaking
they-
of Surfer, yeah, do another Surfer card.
Surfer Magic.
I'm finally starting to get some more eyeballs on that post in the group. I've noticed some new people checking it out the last couple days.
How long are you giving pieces before you're flipping them to eBay?
The first couple I did 3 days. I haven't really moved to any of the other ones yet, though. because they got claimed.
Oh, okay.
But I was like 3 days. Just I'm trying not to have like nothing on eBay.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky because there's like this one guy on eBay that buys up a ton of X-Men stuff.
Is it Mr. Fuxum?
No, it's some guy who says he doesn't have any other social media. So
Oh.
I haven't. He's not in the group. He's not on Instagram
See ya,
or
Sarah.
anything.
All right. Bye, Sarah.
Bye, Sarah.
Is his name Joel?
No, I
No. Okay.
think his name is Charles. But it's funny because there's another guy from the group that has bought some of my stuff on eBay too. And sometimes he'll go back and forth with this guy. Which is like what you want, right? It's the beauty of eBay.
I want some fans. Yeah, I'm gonna do something for eBay in the next couple of weeks.
It took me like a good month or so before I kind of started to feel like I was actually getting some kind of progress and like going in the right direction. But then like 2 weeks ago, they changed something with their search algorithm to where the views are like way down on posts, which I don't know what they did, but
They
like
keep on messing around with the settings around the collectibles.
that's probably what it is. Yeah, because I was getting like, probably between like 50 and 80 views on most of the card posts. And sometimes it would go over 100 depending on the subject of the character. But now it's going from like 10 to like 30 and maxing out at like 40. So it's like
Make sure-
almost
Put
70%.
PMG and
Ooh, that's a good
rare.
idea.
Put PMG and rare somewhere in the description where you could say this is not a PMG and not as rare as a PMG, but
But it's in there. Yeah.
but like if you were to get it graded, it could maybe get a 10 comparable to a
That's funny.
Well, you know what, and I wonder how much
Mint
of
PMG.
that, how much of that is actually happening in the sense that is it really people that are trying to, pull the wool out over people's eyes, or is it people that are just trying to get, the stuff seen,
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, it's stuff seen because I was looking at something eBay today too, and they're like some cards, and PMG was in the description. I'm like, these aren't PMGs. That's nothing to do with it. But the words were there. I think the guys that are actively selling, they see what's getting the attention, and obviously all this like $75,000, whatever crazy auctions that are going on are the keywords. That's how you see like there's a lot of
the other. That's what I'm saying is that now it's one thing if you have like PMG in there and it's just to get views or hits, that's one thing. But if it's like not a PMG but it's priced at that level,
oh yeah,
then
well,
okay, maybe somebody's trying to place it.
No.
But
No, don't you worry. I'm not pricing it at PMG levels.
you should try though.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't hurt, huh?
Just in the description. Don't lowball me. I know what I have. You see, even a lot of the MM20 sketches, they have Palumbo in the name.
oh yeah,
It's Marvel Masterpieces 2020 Dave Palumbo sketch card. And then I'm like, that's not a Palumbo.
Yeah, I don't put stuff like that in the actual title of the listing, but I like almost every single X-Men card that I post or whatever, I put Wolverine in like the description. So it'll show up when you search Wolverine.
Captain Britain, who once appeared next to Wolverine.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's like obviously he's super popular, and every Wolverine card I've ever posted has sold. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna put Wolverine in like every X-Men description. Same thing with like Venom or whatever. We put Spider-Man and Venom.
Yeah.
But it was weird how it just all of a sudden happened. And I was kind of freaking out at first. I was like, what did I do wrong? And then I saw another guy that I've kind of talked to a little bit about eBay. He was like, yeah, it's happening to me too. I was like, okay, good. I'm glad it's not just me.
Oh, Abraham wants to know if any of us have been asked to do 2020 Marvel Masterpieces. I don't think
2022.
anyone.
2022, yeah.
Masterpieces. Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna get offers for Masterpiece for Masterpieces 22 till early next year at the best case scenario.
I'm gonna start putting in my my requests to get on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Masterpieces, and if I remember correctly, I think the offer may have come in for 2020. Didn't it? It came in either late 19 or
Yep.
early 21.
It was late 19, I'm pretty sure. I think it was in like December.
Was it December or end of November or something like
Could have,
that?
yeah, that sounds right.
So I mean, even if it's November, I mean, I'm, because if Premiere and Masterpieces kind of like trade years,
Yep.
I'm wondering, has anybody heard anything about Premiere 21? But if I recall correctly, didn't those drop around Halloween time?
Yeah, but if you listen to the last episode of the podcast, they're speculating that Premiere 21 is going to end up next year.
Really?
So
Well, I know.
does that-
okay.
So does that
Maybe I
mean
shouldn't say
that?
anything.
Does that mean that Masterpieces gets pushed back another year?
I don't think so, because Masterpieces was originally supposed to release in the summer and end up being released in the fall because of Corona, right? So they could still maintain that fall pattern. The only thing is, I mean, these are both premium sets with quite a price tag on it, and I think it's a lot of the same collectors. They're just going to get pissed
Right.
if they drop these massive things like 3 months apart. I mean, they're still buying,
Right.
but
The difference between the two, obviously, though, is that Premiere is like exclusively like mostly sketch cards, whereas Masterpieces, it is a lot of sketch cards, but it's also the base set's pretty big deal.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think that because if you look at what X-Men Metal, that was supposed to drop in 20.
Yeah, and
it
you
didn't
know,
come out until 21. And they
Daredevil-
already announced that the Spider-Man metal thing,
yeah,
didn't they?
Yeah, that's supposed to be out December 27th or something. Like right, just in time
So
for
it sounds
Christmas.
like that they're going to try and do the Metal Universe stuff annually. So
you know, whenever Deadpool came out, that got delayed too because that was it. I'm pretty sure all the copyright and all whatever for the dates and everything on Deadpool was a different year than when it actually got released.
yeah,
Yeah, but that happened
wait
with
until
with
Black Widow.
ages and Black Widow. Well, Black Widow's out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
But
out
that
now,
probably
but
was
that-
being done last
that's-
year.
Yeah, that's
I'm
all
sure that-
popular.
yeah,
It's
because
2020.
Right, but the movie was supposed to come out last year.
2020 as well. Yeah.
Right. So couldn't release the card set and give away the plot of the movie, I guess. I don't know.
Well, that's true. The card sets usually follow all the stuff. The only one that came out around the same time was Infinity War, I think. or maybe it was Endgame. One of those two came out around the same time as the movie.
Well,
So,
one of them was
Abraham.
matched up
So,
with.
sorry, Warner. Abraham's asking, don't know if any of you guys are able to disclose any information, but do you have any sketches for Spider-Man Metal 2021?
I can say that I didn't work on that.
I can neither confirm or deny that.
Wait, they haven't released a checklist yet?
No, they generally don't put the checklist out for the. They'll add to the checklist for the artists,
Gotcha.
like 4 days before the thing drops,
Gotcha.
because you can't put the checklist out because you don't know who gets rejected and who gets approved and
True.
Yeah, until all
whatnot,
that
and you
stuff's
can't do your approvals. You can't do your approvals. You don't get your approvals until after it drops, anyways, or when it drops. That way, you're not, you don't see a bunch of guys posting a bunch of stuff online prior to.
Yeah, it's going to be very
you know,
close to the release for.
Yeah.
I think Abraham, the question
Yeah.
is, ask that question closer to the release of the set, and you'll be able to get valid answers. But there's another Spider-Man set that's been, I think, unofficially announced because people were just posting about it.
Yeah, man.
That's
I'm
the,
missing
I
all the
think
good stuff.
I think they did mention it on the podcast.
The Into the Spider-Verse one.
Which is really interesting to me that that's being announced and being worked on so long after the movie came out. Like, that's interesting.
Might have been an afterthought.
But that seems like
I'm
perfect set.
But I'm curious. I'm curious if that has. When is the Doctor Strange movie supposed to come out? Early next year?
No, but this is
This is the animated
Spider-Verse,
movie.
the animated one that
Right.
came out 2 years ago.
I know that, but what I'm saying is that there's speculation that you're gonna have multiple Spider-Men.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
yeah.
that's been confirmed at this point.
Right. So what's up, Mark? So
Hey, Mark.
I don't know. I mean,
Good night from tomorrow.
I just watched that the Black Widow movie the other day, and I saw some like YouTube videos, and I'm not going to spoil the movie, but somebody was talking about, somebody was speculating that in the preview or the trailer for the Hawkeye show, there's the girl that's dressed up as Ronin
Yeah.
in that trailer.
Yeah.
Is that going to be Echo?
And see, now that's where that kind of, so if Echo rolls into the MCU, and there's obviously the heavy rumors of Daredevil coming into the MCU, with Charlie Cox, and basically, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's more or less confirmed that Vincent D'Onofrio will return as the Kingpin.
That would be great.
You guys know the credit scene in Venom, right?
Yes.
I'm sure at this point everyone's heard about what's going on there. So that pretty much
Which one?
confirms the
The
new
second
Venom
Venom.
in Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either, but I know
like
what you're talking
the
about.
credit scene's been all over the internet. I think movie's been out for over a week now, so I can discuss it. Do you care, Warner? It doesn't have anything to do with the main plot line of the movie.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, it doesn't
so
have anything to do.
it has nothing to do with the main plot line. So Eddie's in a resort talking to Venom, like they're just in a hotel room, whatever. Then a bunch of green lights and yellow lights. And everyone that's watching, if you don't care, or if you care about this, then come back in 90 seconds. But basically, there's a bunch of flashing lights outside, a lot of green and orange, whatever. Venom gets all worked up and turns into Venom. The TV show on the television changes to the news, and it's Tom Holland Spider-Man. and they're talking about Peter Parker and blah
Oh,
blah blah.
okay.
And then
Okay.
Venom looks at the
Yeah,
screen. And I
no,
can't
I mean,
remember what
I
he says.
assume that because I think that there's been talk about, that was going to happen anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not exactly,
But
you know,
how are they going to do that? Because I'm still kind of annoyed that they had a Venom movie without Spider-Man. You know,
They're crossing the universes.
right? So they're not
So
even
they
from the
do-
same universe.
Exactly. It's going to be the Venom. Venom was in one world, and now these two worlds collide. And I think this is how they're going to bring in the X-Men and all the other things, where you can be like, how the hell did all this stuff happen in the world with New York and
But-
and Avengers, and at no point were
oh
there any
yeah, and to be honest, all that stuff they basically laid the groundwork in the last episode of What If.
I haven't watched that, but that's what I heard too.
I
Yeah.
mean, the whole What If thing, where it's all about the multiverses and stuff, and crossing the streams and things like that. It's going to be
Crossing the streams. You
it-
just wanted to work that in there.
Well, I
And
mean,
you
it's there's so many, it's like, and of course, like the thing with the Netflix series, that's always been basically in the MCU because they referred to the MCU.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
No,
and they refer to
numerous-
Thor, and they
numerous
refer
times.
to
Iron
the
Man.
New York incident and stuff like that. So
And
they take
Captain
place,
America, and
yeah, because they take place in the same world, but they're kind of like small time. That's why they're like dealing with gangsters
Right.
and bank robberies.
Right, so
while
they're-
the Avengers
they're
are.
kind of in that scene, but then you've got but going back to the whole thing with the character that's dressed as Ronin, that's probably Echo, and then
But
you've
she's
got-
getting her own show. That's been announced, right?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it has been.
So she's got to have to make her cameo somewhere, and it makes perfect sense to do it in Hawkeye.
Well,
Yeah.
and especially with especially how it ties into the end credit scene from Black Widow,
Oh yeah.
because
I haven't seen Black
basically
Widow, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
Oh,
but
oh, she's
Taskmaster and Echo have the same powers. They can just mimic other people's moves. Uh-oh.
Man,
Gordon's still drawing, so is he
yeah,
done?
she was good. No, I don't know. You probably went to check in on her. Time is it 5:30? Okay, I have to wrap it up soon. I was gonna get to work on more than one thing, but at least this guy's done.
Let's see, smaller brush. Go darker. So yeah, so I'm curious how they're gonna work because that would be pretty legit, having a Taskmaster Echo throw down.
Echo's good, right?
Yes and no. She was basically. I actually read up on her. She was basically raised by Kingpin,
Oh, okay.
and
She's an anti-hero.
but she was told by the Kingpin that Daredevil killed her father, even though it was the Kingpin, because they were like partners, mob partners or whatever. But the Kingpin said that Daredevil killed her dad, so she went after Daredevil, and then Daredevil straightened her out, and then she kind of became a good guy, and she's been all over the place.
She's doing bad things for good reasons. Then.
Yeah, I think she's done like a stint at Shield and done some Avengers stuff, and I don't know. I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff, but yeah, that could be, and then of course, well, I don't want to ruin the what if thing, but I think with all this multiverse stuff, the whole idea of like, oh, Downey Jr.'s done, ScarJo's done, Chris Evans is done. I wouldn't count him out.
Right.
Not yet. Even if it's a matter of like a different universe cap where like he's president of the United States or something.
Yeah, Rusty.
All right.
He just has to buy Sony. Yeah.
All right. I think I've
Have you been
overstayed my
summoned?
welcome. Yeah, she's I think she's done now.
Game on.
No
All right,
worries.
guys.
That
Thanks
was
for
a
letting me hang
very
out.
long 20 minutes. So
Yeah, it
take
was.
it. Thanks for hopping
Yeah.
on.
All right, guys.
Cool.
All right,
Actually,
see you, dude.
yeah, give me 1 second. Good. See you, Gordon. Uh,
What was that? Was that you pinging me or somebody getting pinged?
no, that's me.
Let's see. Whoops, wrong one. Where is it? Here.
1 second. Let me see if I need to get off or not.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. That's cool. Yeah. No spoilers.
Crap. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can do this quickly.
What are you doing quickly?
I gotta fix something. But let me see if it's gonna be like a 5-second thing or something's gonna take me an hour, because that will determine whether or not I have to get off or not. Please hold. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh man. So yeah, I'm curious with, especially with after Infinity War and Endgame. I think that the initial question was, how are they going to carry this? Carry the brand, without the OGs, so to speak. And I think that there's definitely room to do some pretty interesting stuff. Not to mention, bringing Fantastic Four back in. And I think I saw on IMDb that's actually been slated. And I don't know. I think Fantastic Four is going to be. I don't think that's going to be like a multiverse thing. I think that's going to be out of the quantum realm kind of a thing. I think that's going to be an Ant-Man end credit scene.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta bounce.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not going to take 5 minutes.
No, I'm just trying to make sense of the email, and I don't understand. Means I gotta get on the phone.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
No worries.
thanks for tuning in. Let me see how she's looking before I run off to the world. Nice. Looks good.
So yeah, just throwing down layers, trying to get it to work.
Yeah, I hear that. Build them up.
So. All right. Well,
Okay. Well, thanks everyone. Morning's always fun, and have a great weekend.
will do. Thanks, man.
All right. Bye.
See ya.